This time, get straight, explode, and I'll take over the show. The strain and mode, and now the people follow me. Now, 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 now.
I'm Alex Duprey, my gamer tag is Pleb, and I play Falco in Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube. I play Falco because he's like my kind of speed. I feel like other characters are either too fast or too slow for me. Falco is just he's got the right tempo to just like always put pressure on the opponent, keep up, and he's got really cool combos, and just I like playing him. I've always thought the word pleb was like funny because it's like a word for like the common folk or something, and it's usually like an ill-minded opinion of like common people. I've been playing since probably 2004, and then I played Brawl, and then more recently last year in 2013 I picked up Melee again competitively. I placed 33rd at my first tournament, tied for 33rd, and then 25th, 17, 17th again, and that was probably the match that I said, wow, I think I want to pick this up. This is really cool.
Oh no! Oh, fuck.
You risked it all, bro.
Yeah, I know. My name is Danny Mendoza. My gamer tag is Gurren, and in Melee I play Jigglypuff, and in Project M I main Ness. Jigglypuff doesn't really need a lot of technical skill, I guess. So it's easier to just, I guess, straight up play with her. In Project M, I like playing Ness because I like playing Ness in Melee, but he sucks. And then in Project M, they really beefed him up. They gave him actual tools that he can use, and I'm able to play faster. I feel more fluid when I play him. I first started playing like the original one when I was like 7 years old. I would play with my uncle, who was only a few years older than me, but I never beat him. He would always beat me. I'd always choose Donkey Kong, and he would just like completely wreck me. So when I moved back to New York, he had Melee, and I was playing that with him, and he still would beat me. I never got to beat him in a single game. And I was so frustrated, like, no, this is not fair. He would choose anyone, and he would still beat me. When we got into competitive, it yearned me to be better than my uncle. I'm better than my uncle now. There's no way he could whip me. I whoop his ass so hard. I've known Alex since I was in 7th grade, so around 7 years. But he's been my best friend for 5. We talked about making a band together. Make fucking awful songs, awful names, awful music, awful band names.
Yeah.
Poor choices. One day he brings his Wii, and we start playing Smash Bros. And then, like, I don't know, we just started hanging out more. He's pretty much my brother. That's what I consider him as. Someone who's always been there for me.
There's Facebook pages for every region, essentially in the United States and all over the world, where they will post tournaments, tournament dates, tournament results, stuff like that. There's also Smashboards, which is a Smash website where they also post tournaments.
We were just playing Brawl because it was fun, and then Alex started showing me some tournaments.
The first one was just like, yeah, we showed up and we didn't know what to expect, and we brought like the hugest TV. We're like lugging it around. Everyone's got like a medium or small TV. I was like, okay, so that's how you do it. February 1st is gonna be CEO Winterfest. CEO is probably the biggest fighting game tournament in the South, and this is just like a off-season tournament. And so they're bringing Melee back for the first time in a while, and they're also planning to bring it back for their big CEO event, which is in June.
I first started organizing tournaments back in the early 2000s. I've been playing video games all my life since I was 4 years old because of two older brothers. I loved organizing because I also loved playing, and there wasn't really anybody else willing to step up and run tournaments. So I kind of got into it early, way before CEO ever existed, and did local tournaments with a lot of buddies of mine in college. And so I wanted to do it just because I enjoyed playing just as much and bringing people together, and it just kind of started there.
CEO is like a really big event, and like we're just a small little portion of it, and we're running our own tournaments. That's one thing about Smash that you won't see from other fighting games, is when we go to a tournament, we have to bring our own TVs, we have to bring our own GameCubes, our own controllers, etc., etc., because we can't play on like the LCD TVs because they've got input lag.
Well, the thing with like the LCDs TVs or like the high definitions is that they still have lag that maybe someone who doesn't play competitively won't notice at first, but the more you play on it and then you go back to the normal TVs, like the old ones, because the system was designed to be on those TVs, not on the new ones.
There's no lag on most CRTs, so you know, at the end of the day, the monitors I use is because there's the least amount of lag for players, and to a top player, that's gonna matter. That's gonna change up how you play, how you respond, react. So you got to go with what works for Smash, and that keeps working.
So to play Smash in general, you really want like the Nintendo brand controller. You don't want Mad Catz, you don't want Kirka, you don't want any off-brand because they're not Nintendo quality. And so the Nintendo controller just puts you on an even playing field as everybody else. You all have the same controller. And then when you start playing with your own controller, it starts to like give in to stuff you do a lot. Like if there's a certain motion you do with your finger on the joystick, if you do that enough, you're gonna get faster at it, and the control stick's gonna give into it more. So like each controller eventually tailors to its master.
For some people, they like the uniqueness to their own.
People write their names on it. People put stickers and stuff on it, show their character off, their flair. Like people do all sorts of stuff. I do actually have a keychain and a pin on it at the end, so I'll always know that it's mine. A pin that a friend got me, and then it's got Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
So the Smash community in Florida has been really growing fast over the past year since I've started hosting it again. And when I didn't host it, it was mostly other fighting games. But then the UCF Gaming Nights came out after 2 years of no Smash at CEO. And like our scene's really growing. We're doing events. We're getting 70, 80 players every time. Would you like to host it again? And I love to host any game if a community can step up and help.
If it wasn't for the tournament organizer for Smash right now, his name is Raging Cherry, we wouldn't have Melee right now, like, as big as it should be. He's been able just to constantly throw out tournaments, just doing so much for the community.
He's run a lot at UCF, and those are pretty cool. And so he's actually going to be running the Melee event within CEO.
Jabali used to host a bunch of events throughout the year besides the big CEO in June. He hosts one every few months, and I went up to him at one of his events called CEO Bar Fights.
He just came up to me. He approached me with his buddy, and he's like, hey, we host Smash tournaments. We'd be interested in talking to you. And every time I hear that from somebody, I'm like, yeah, you say you want to help, but then you probably won't end up showing up. And he's like, no, I'm serious.
And I said, listen, I know I'm just a college kid, but we run this big thing at UCF. We have a really prominent Smash community with us. You can just give us a sign-up sheet and a clipboard, and we'll make it happen. So
he showed me everything. I have a very good judge of character, and I can tell he was passionate about it.
And a few months later, we doubled their biggest game at CEO Winterfest.
Were you disappointed at the last CTO? I guess, yeah. I was really hoping to like do better, but every time I go to a tournament and get like destroyed like that, I get like super humble, and it pushes me to like play more and just try to get better, because I hate going and getting bopped like that. I've tightened my training regimen. I've also been trying to get out and playing real people more often. Every time I go to a tournament, I try to learn as much as I can, and every time I'm done with the tournament, like I know that I've learned this and this and this. I write it down. I've got a document on my computer. I write everything down. I think a little differently than other people do, and the wall is just where I can write it in a way that I'll understand, and that way I can just always remember. It's just where I write down stuff that pertains to like my training regimen. There's still some stuff from the first time, because it's like really important stuff, but I've definitely erased and rewritten a lot of things.
I can directly relate training for a video game like completely to training for a sport. I competed at high level, wrestling, high school and college for quite a while. And if you don't practice, if you don't have good partners, if you don't have good coaches, if you will, it's such a struggle. If you don't go and compete, it's tough.
I like watching people push the character. Like that's why I love watching Hungrybox play, because he's reached the pinnacle, and he could go even beyond that of what that character could do.
My current rank in Florida is first. I think I've been ranked first in Florida for the past few years now, and my current official world ranking is 5th, though I've been considered, anywhere from 2nd to 5th over the past, from maybe 2010 to now. So I've been always in between those rankings, but always top 5 consistently for the past 2 years in the world.
The thing with Hungrybox too, like his punish game is so good. Punishing is like, if someone makes a mistake, you capitalize on that mistake. You beat them for it. You killed them for it. It's like that's how advanced it gets when you get the top players. Because any tiny little mistake that you do, you're dead. They'll combo you to death and then they fucking kill you.
I had a cousin, and she knew Hungrybox because they went to school together.
She ended up, turns out that she lived very near this house, actually. So I was like, we should hang out. And then she invited me over, and that's when I met Alex and Danny.
And we went, the 3 of us, me, Danny, and Jasmine, and we had a good time.
Yeah, you got to play with him.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
Fuck.
Pleb stuck out to me because he played Falco, and I can see like that sort of that drive, but things weren't clicking for him yet because he still had a lot to learn in the game. But like, he always seemed like, for effort, I'd always give him an A+ because he always seemed to bring all he could to the table. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him, making his rounds, top 20 in Florida. I would say maybe in the next 1 or 2 years, if he keeps the motivation, it just sort of happens naturally. If you have that ambition, it comes naturally because you're not gonna let yourself, get destroyed all the time.
What's your goal with this upcoming CEO? I want to make it out of pools. I haven't made it out of pools at any big tournament yet. So it'd be really exciting if I could do it there. I know that's probably asking for a lot, considering how stacked the bracket or the pools are probably going to be with so much talent from all over the country. And I just, trying to prove myself.
I mean, I feel like if I really practice a little bit more, maybe I can do somewhat decent in PM. I really doubt it because people are really good at that game. But I couldn't see him. I hope I did good. Was it accurate? Get out of pools. Get out at least on some bracket. I couldn't see where he was. Oh well. Hope for the best. Try my best. top 8 are gonna play in this ring. It's gonna be super hype. It's gonna be crazy hype.
Tournament started. Everyone's getting pretty hyped for this. So the way pools works is like, it's called pools because it's a pool of players. So we have 16 pools, 16 groups of players, and they all play with each other until you get to the top 2 players. Then those players get transferred into a big bracket with all the other top 2 players of their pools, and then so you just have a really good bracket. So my first match is against Nicholas. I don't know who that is, so it'll be fun. I lost. I had never heard of him or like I knew who he was, so I got really nervous. Oh, really? And I started missing a lot of easy stuff. And like it sucked too because I had him like pretty much downloaded, but like I just messed up. And I died the last stock, or like my last life I died, I flubbed an input and then I died. I have at least one more. I'm okay with the way I performed in that game because I know I did really well. And I'm pretty happy about that. So even if I lose the next one, I hope to not be too distraught about it, but I'm gonna try to, because like all the people are now in losers, so now I have my chance to beat the people who lost already. So I'm hoping I can do that.
I just won. It feels good. That means I get to go. I get faced with someone else. He was really reacting really well of how like his projectiles and stuff. But I think I DI'd a lot, which is why I got to hold on to my lives much more than I should have. I should have lost sometimes. So, but yay!
I think that there's a lot of like new people coming out. Like I've been playing since '05, and the scene hasn't really grown that much until like the last 2 or 3 years. And ever since then, like kids like this guy have been coming up out of nowhere and just trying to get better and stuff like that. So it's awesome. I love to see new people. I love to see new faces. Those are the people that I want to keep playing. Because if nobody new is coming in, then we don't have a scene. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna die out. So that's the difference between Melee and like other fighting games, is that we're like around forever. So this kid is like the future generation. In 3 or 4 years, he's gonna be like nasty.
Okay, so I beat the Escapist, and he played the same character I did, Falco. So that was pretty sweet. The first game I did lose, just like the first match, but I kind of like kept it together. I didn't get nervous as much, and he wasn't punishing me for things that I was doing, so I just kept doing them. They were working, and so I'm just really excited because it's like my first pools win ever.
Right.
So I'm like really hyped.
So you made progress from the last time?
Definitely, like already. And then I played a friend of mine, Ron Aroni, who every time we both enter a tournament, we play each other, and he beats me. So, but it's like a friendly kind of like rivalry, I guess. Like I want to beat him one day. I know I will. So we had some close games.
So now you're out.
I am.
Well, I'm out. I won 2 games technically because the guy never showed up. So I won one, another one. But yeah, I'm out officially. So.
How far did you get?
Pretty far. Pool wise, play more. That's all I can do is just play more.
I had a lot of fun. I played with a lot of people. We're definitely seeing a lot of progress, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm pretty satisfied with how I played. There's some things that could have happened, but oh well.
I'm much better than I was last year. Last year was such trash. Still kind of am, but I didn't get O2 in PM, which is what I wanted. So I did get what I want. I didn't get as far as I wanted, but still, it's all just this giant learning thing. And
So set your hand aside and draw 3 cards.
I learned from the day. I just gotta play faster. Gotta play more precise. I just gotta get better. That's all today taught me. So I'm gonna do that.
I think Florida's up there to have more and more Smash Fests and tournaments. 'Cause I'm always wanting to play people. I'm always willing to learn.
Especially here in Florida. People go out to tournaments and play. Because if it wasn't that way, we would be having, oh, this tournament only had like 20 people, but this one had 50. It's not consistent. But this one has been showing consistency. A lot of people just keep going and playing, so.
I think we're one of the more active states right now, especially whenever like PM came out, for instance, we all picked up on that really quickly, and you've seen guys like Alex Ricosta and Alex DeBailey put Florida back on the map.
You know, now CEO is a thing. We put Florida back on the map. You know, it's really cool, you know, going to out-of-state tournaments and, like, you know, really cheering for Florida. Like, I never really did that before. Like, when I would travel for wrestling, it was like, yeah, this is my team. And then when I would travel for other games, like, it was like me and like my one friend who played. That was it. But when I go to tournaments, like, I don't really care. It's just like, you know, Florida's there. Like, we have to win.
My event's gone from 300 people to 2,800 people in 4 years, and Smash has a big part of that. They had about 500 people there just for Smash this year. So I grow with the games that grow, and as long as there's a community supported, I'll support them, and it's just going to keep getting bigger, and hopefully I'll be ready.
What's in the future for you guys?
Play more Smash.
Yeah, more Smash.